All right, welcome back to another episode of Fast Break Live NBA podcast. It's your boy Samuel here. I got with me a guest with me here today, my boy Quis, aka SwaveyQuis on Twitter. Quis, let the
Sir.
people know where they could find you. Say what's up to the people.
What's up, y'all? Find me on Twitter, man. SwaveyQuis, SWAVEY, QUIS. And my Instagram is the same thing, but it's an extra S on the back. So
And my boy Quis is one of the probably staple members of Suns Twitter, I would say. Always
yeah,
tweeting
for
about,
sure.
always live tweeting about the Suns, always tweeting about the Suns just in general. So, before we get into your Suns, I do want to talk about this NBA season so far, and all the twists and turns it's been going through lately. As of today, LeBron is out indefinitely, of course, after he sustained a high ankle sprain against the Hawks earlier today, and ever since that injury happened, I've been seeing a lot of people tweeting like this is the worst season ever, and like
Yeah,
this is one of the worst seasons. Like no one's really invested, which I somewhat agree with. Like I haven't been
a
able
little
to
bit.
really, I haven't been
Yeah.
really be able to enjoy most of the games this year, except for
hmm
like my Knicks games and like a couple of prime times games. But like, how have you been feeling about the NBA season so far?
I a little bit agree because before the season even started, I kind of felt like maybe they shouldn't be playing basketball at all. But now that they're doing the vaccines and all that, I feel like it'll be a little better. I agree with you too, though. Like I haven't watched as past years as much as I have. Like besides the Suns, I'm always gonna watch the Suns. Like you said, you watch your Knicks, so I'm gonna watch the Suns games regardless. But the other games, it's kind of without fans. It feels a little weird to watch them. So I've watched a lot less games than I have in the past. But I've been watching a lot more recently because I feel like with the vaccine, they'll start letting a lot of more fans in.
Yeah, definitely. Without the fans, it's been a lot of energy lacking in the stadiums. Of course, they've been letting in fans. I think more than half the teams have fans in the arenas now, and they've like
hmm
been gradually increasing. So there's signs that there's going to be at least a lot more during playoffs, which should increase the competitiveness and energy as well. But like what I was thinking about earlier when I saw a lot of those tweets earlier was I was thinking about the 99 NBA season back when it was like a lockout season. They had
Yeah,
like 50 games and like people were playing on back to back to back nights, mad injuries, and then you had the 8 seed Knicks end up making the finals. Like I feel like
yeah,
this year is like very similar to that. And I feel like a lot of people just weren't around, or like I guess there wasn't Twitter
yeah.
around.
No
So like
fans. Yeah, wasn't
no one
social
really
media like that.
remembers it. So like
Yeah,
people saying this is the worst season. They should take a look back at that year.
no, that season was awful.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I've been thinking of
you
that.
had
Yeah,
you had an 8 seed making the finals. I mean, that hasn't happened
that
ever
does not
since then.
happen.
So
Yeah, it
like
literally doesn't happen.
when people are, I feel like it's an exaggeration, but also like
hmm
it's somewhat justified because the season hasn't been as exciting as previous seasons. But I still feel like there's still hope for the season to end off on a strong point. Going back to the Lakers, of course, with LeBron being hurt, he's out indefinitely. They already been missing Anthony Davis, and they are going to be struggling for a bit. I assume that Dennis Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell and Kyle Kuzma are going to become the main options now, featured on the offense. I
hmm
also assume they'll probably make some moves for probably some people off the buyout market, maybe a LaMarcus Aldridge or Andre Drummond.
Yeah,
But
somebody like that.
how do you feel about the Lakers so far with these new injuries and how they'll be going forward?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because I feel like they were doing a good job where they are one of the teams that had the shortest off season, all that, them and the Heat, and then they have missed AD a lot of the game. And they're still like in the top two, top three up there with the Suns in Utah. And I feel like now it might be a little. I think they can get by most teams with their defense, and I think guys like Schroeder and them are. But I feel like some of those top teams, they'll definitely lose too because they ended up losing to the Hawks today without LeBron. So it's gonna be tough. We got to see how long LeBron actually gonna be out. We never know how long he's because he's not a regular human being. But
Facts.
like he's not regular, so he might not be out long as we think. But if he's out a long time, I do think they'll slip a little bit. not far. I don't think they'll slip to where they'll get past like 3, but I think I think that gives us and like Utah a little chance to get some like separation if we stay healthy.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. And of course, the word indefinitely, when Woj and Shams tweeted out he's going to be out indefinitely, that scared a lot of people because usually when you have it indefinitely, that's like
Yeah, it's a
at
minute.
least a month or so.
Yeah,
And them high ankle sprains is something serious but
yeah,
of
you
course,
can.
LeBron isn't
Yeah,
the
he's.
average NBA player
Mhm.
too. Yeah, I definitely think that they can stay somewhat afloat with their defense because as you've seen with teams like the Knicks and Utah, like
Yeah,
those top defensive teams, and even with Philly too, if you're missing some of your guys, your defense will still get you by a lot of teams,
yeah,
especially
you
in
can
this
stay
year.
close. Yeah, this year because a
Yeah,
lot of teams don't play defense,
yeah, exactly. S-
so it'll give you an advantage.
Yeah, and going to your Suns. Your Suns are one of the top defensive teams as well in the league.
Hmm.
And I think it's somewhat surprised a lot of people that you guys are this good on both ends.
Hmm.
I'm not. I for one am not that surprised that you guys would be this good because I saw what Chris Paul took with OKC to the playoffs last year, and I was like, the Suns have a way better roster constructed around him and D Book that I
Yeah,
think
than
they'll
they
be
did
like a
last
top 3 or 4
year.
seed in the West.
Hmm. Hmm.
So when you guys came out to the start, it wasn't really that surprising, but it was like it was fun to see a team like Phoenix back being
Yeah,
one of the top teams in the league because back in the early 2000s, that's where
good days. That's where we
yeah, those
stayed.
are the
Yeah,
good old days. Yeah.
that's where we always were. And just the last 10 years, it's literally been the opposite.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah.
know you. I know how you feel as like a Knicks fan when we had like Melo in them. That
Hmm.
was like our somewhat glory days for recent Knicks fans, and now
Yeah,
we're finally getting back to like
yeah, get back
competing. So I know how that feels.
for sure.
But I've noticed that there's something that bothers you about the Suns this year that why you don't feel they'll go so far. So I don't know if you want to explain to anyone who
Yeah.
doesn't follow you what's been
Hmm.
bothering you and why.
Okay, so I thought this came in coming in about our number one pick, obviously DeAndre Ayton.
Hmm.
Obviously, if anybody that follows me or anybody that sees Suns Twitter, he's easily the most talked about topic on Suns Twitter. Like it's not even close. Outside of Book, of course, but everybody knows what Booker is already. And then the whole thing with him, being taken before Luca. We even had fans in our fan base, fighting over that because they were Luca fans.
Oh
So it got
wow.
to it. To me, it's like to a point now. I'm gonna say this first because before I say this about him, I want this to I want this to be known. I have never been an Ayton hater. When it came out that we were getting the number one pick, I knew it was gonna be between him and Luca. But I knew like him going to high school and playing high school in Arizona, him going to then end up going to U of A. Like he was like that Arizona kid. Our owner is about money and like narratives. He was always gonna go get Ayton because of that right there.
Hmm.
Like he was that. That's how I always felt. I thought we should have took Luca because I have a rule where I feel like you should take the perimeter player over the big always.
Yeah.
I always feel like you should take the perimeter player. So then, even then, I was like, I would take Luca, but my thought process at that point was like, we're gonna take Aiden. So before we even took Aiden, I just started supporting him. I was like, we're gonna take Aiden. Like it's so obvious we're taking him. Like that was the most obvious thing in the world. Like a lot of people thought like it was gonna be like we was gonna take Luca. I knew for a fact we weren't taking Luca. As crazy as that sounds, I knew for a fact we wasn't taking him. But our
and
fan
you know
base,
what's
like, yeah,
And you know what's funny before you continue? It's funny because like you guys passed on Luca, but like it's always made a joke of the Kings passing on him because I guess of how bad Marvin Bagley has turned out for them. That's
yeah,
why people bring up the Kings more, but it's funny how no one brings up the Suns, how they
yeah.
passed on him, but everyone talks about the Kings. But go ahead, continue.
Yeah, it is funny because I low key be forgetting because I be so focused on the fact that we passed on them that I be forgetting that the Kings like they passed on them too, which is insane to me. But shout out Bagley too because both of them they both was playing high school basketball in Arizona. They was on the same team at one point. Like
Oh
shout
yeah, I
out to him.
remember
He's from
that
here. Yeah, shout out to that guy, man. I really hope he stays healthy too. By the way, because he can't catch a break. It sucks.
at all.
But yeah. So before I say this, my problem is I think us getting CP3 like accelerated everything for us. Like I didn't think we are gonna jump from not a playoff team to being like a top team in the West. I didn't think it was gonna happen that fast. I knew it would be better, what I thought we were going to be was like a top 4 or 5 seed, which probably that might be where we end up. I think we'll still end up like top 3. I don't think we drop below 4, but we got some like separation for a lot of teams. So I think we're in the top 3 regardless. If anybody, I think like ends up over us, it'll probably be like Utah. Well, the Clippers could too. So we'll see. But I think it accelerated it to where now I don't know if we can wait as long as we could have for Ayton to develop, because I think our window is going to be like with the Chris Paul and Book together, and we know Chris Paul is what 35,
Yeah,
so it's like
your window
us being
shrinks.
yeah, and everybody, and it doesn't help him that Mikal has like freaking he has took his leap to where he's ready to compete now too,
Yeah,
like
he's
in
an
the playoffs, like
excellent
he's ready now too
complimentary
now.
role piece.
Yeah, like he's already ready. I was just looking at I just retweeted it when Damian Lillard saying like it's a real fact, because somebody had tweeted, Mikel's a championship level role guy, and he said you don't have to run any plays for him. He's gonna make real impact every night, and we
Yep,
see
that's
that every
true.
night. Yeah, and then Damian Lillard like quoted that and said this is a real fact. That's a star saying that. Like Mikel's already ready. Ayton is like, I don't want to call him the problem. It's just he's not ready yet. Like he's not consistent enough. He's not like a guy where you can get a ball to Jokic or one of them or Embiid, and they'll like go get you a bucket. We can't consistently ask Ayton to do that because he's not there yet, and we don't have that third guy to me to where we can actually. I won't throw our names in the contender thing. I know a lot of people have. Kendrick Perkins said it to where he thinks we're a finals contender, and I would agree. And it sounds like me being negative about my team. I'm just being real on what I see. I feel like we needed that third guy in the presence. We already got like a lot of jump shooting teams, and we're like a kind of like a jump shooting team to me. So we need like that inside presence consistently to me, and I don't think he's that yet. So that's what bothers me right now. But I don't want people to think that's me being negative. That's just what I see right now.
Nah, it's facts because I tune into a lot of Suns games because they're like a really entertaining team,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the addition of Chris Paul. But like I saw like last night he was in foul trouble once again, and I was just
Yeah,
like you just got to
man.
stay on the court, especially against Cat. Like I saw like one
Yes.
play that you pointed out specifically in a tweet where he like kind of was like guarding him, but then he poked him in the face, and then they called a
Yes.
foul, and he had to sit. And it's just like you can't be allowing yourself to get like fouls like that, and then take yourself out of games because what you're gonna do during playoff time when they call the games even tighter, like.
Yeah, and that's my main issue. That's another issue I have. Like I will say this because I know you see our fan base. We complain a lot about refereeing, and it's
Yeah,
fair because I do feel like because I feel like Book gets killed when he goes to the rim, and that's why
I
he be
feel
so frustrated
I
all the
feel the
time.
same way about RJ.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He gets murdered when he goes to the rim, bro. Nothing, and I'm like, bro, he's like a 2-time All Star now. Can he like start getting his calls like sometime soon, please? Like he
Yeah, the
dies when he goes to
disrespect
the
is
rim.
crazy.
He's the freaking like one of the best players in the league. He still doesn't get calls to me, which is insane. And I think that's part of the reason. And I know it's not just us that see it because that's why Monty Williams. I don't know if you've seen it. Monty Williams got ejected yesterday.
Oh wow, I didn't even notice that.
He got ejected before what was it? The second quarter. It was one of those. He got ejected because first Book had drove a little earlier and got fouled and there was no call. And then Mikal drove again and got hit in his face. And then at that point, Monty like had enough because it happens to us all the time. Monty had enough and got a tech. And after he got that first tech, he went right back at the ref. Like he went right back at him and got his second tech and got tossed. So I know it's not just us that feel that way. If the coach feels that way, like he sees what we see it. But AN, I think I think a lot of our fans kind of baby him a little too much for me. Like it's time for him to, it's time for him to not, grow up on the court and he just got to be smarter. And this is why, like a lot of our games, Dario is closing because he just flat out smarter than Aiden right now, and like more mature and knows where to be. And Aiden like uses his hands too much. That's why he gets fouls. Some of them are ticky tack. I will give our fans that, but he got to learn how to put it. Like there was 3 of them where he would just like keep your hands to yourself, and Cat was baiting him, and he was still putting his hand in there.
Yeah, that's what worries me because the West is filled with these like dominant bigs, and like
Mm-hmm.
even if you get out of the West and you face a team like a Philly who has a Joel Embiid, or you place a Milwaukee in the finals who has like a Giannis, like what are you gonna do with Aiton at
Mm-hmm.
that point? So like
And there's a problem with the roster too because if he's out, there's not another athletic big on our team. Our bigs, we have Jalen Smith, the rookie, but he doesn't play. He's not ready yet. He's too small. and then our next two bigs are Dario and Frank. What are they supposed to do with any type of athletic skill big? They're gonna get
Yeah.
cooked, and we're gonna be in trouble. That's why I've been tweeting like, bro. If we
I
don't, I
see.
said go get another big body because if Aiden gets in foul trouble, dude, we're gonna be asking Dario and Frank to handle. Let's say we got to play the Lakers, we're gonna have to ask them to try to handle AD, or we got to see the Jazz. We got to ask him to keep Gobert off the glass. We got to ask him
Yeah,
to try to battle with Jokic, but that's too much. I will feel so bad for Dario and Frank. That's too much asking them to try to stop those dudes.
it is. And like, how would you feel about a Drummond type?
I've seen people like talking about that. And my fan base doesn't like it, but I'm at the point where I'll probably do anything.
Get desperate for it at that point?
Because I personally don't believe if Ayton can't stay in the games now, I don't know what's gonna change the playoffs. Like, is he? Maybe he'll get he'll learn. His IQ get a little better. He'll keep his hands to himself. But I think it's gonna take him some time for him to stop doing that. And we gotta get if we're gonna actually do something, actually scare somebody. I feel like we have to go get another big body because
And I
if he
feel like
comes out, yeah, we have no rim protection.
And I feel like this is like the perfect year to do it because like everything is like up in the air right now with like
this is
every other
for
contender.
sure.
Like Clippers, they're missing like a point guard, like someone that could set up Kawhi and PG and like settle things down in crunch time. You got the Jazz who are like, you don't know who's going to be reliable after Donovan Mitchell, if he's going to be reliable in the playoffs.
Right. You
and
never
then
know.
you got like with the Lakers, you have all these injury concerns. So it's like really wide open. And it's like Phoenix, if they just fix that one issue that seems to be the one glaring one, they can really make the finals if they really put everything together.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, and I will say this, like, because our fan base also has been doing the thing like, oh, would you guys trade DA for Cat? I said no at first. I was like, I don't know, because I'm like a defense guy. Like,
Same.
obviously, everybody loves offense, but I feel like, bro, and it's crazy because me being a Suns fans, our teams ain't never been known for defense, like, ever. We always just outscored people.
Yeah.
And that's why I had tweeted like earlier this season. I'm so happy like that the identity is like different than what it's ever like really been. Like we actually like defend people. That's why we like, because to start the season, our offense wasn't even really that good. We was winning games off defense because Book and Chris Paul were like still learning how to play together. So the offense was looking a little stinky sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'm like, right now, I just feel like I wouldn't trade him yet. I feel like they should give him a chance. I think the playoffs is when they should give Ayton a chance. So right now, I would say maybe we try to get a big off the buyout market or something like that, or put together a package for another big or something just to help Ayton out a little bit on the defense. Because I feel like we'll be able to score in the playoffs. Like, I'm not really worried about that. I think Book, Mikal, and all them, like, they'll do that. All I need Ayton to do is just consistently, like, defend and be available. Just be available and don't be afraid. Like, I ain't asking him to be Embiid because he's not Embiid yet. Like, especially on offense. I'm not asking a lot from Ayton on offense. Not yet. I don't think he has that in him for a couple of years because he's not polished enough.
Yeah.
I just want him to defend.
And the Knicks have almost a similar issue, I want to say, because like, we took Obi as in we wanted him to be the Julius Randle replacement because of how bad Julius Randle was last year.
Yeah.
And then Julius Randle comes out and he's basically like all NBA. And then it's like, what do we do with Obi now? Because like we play him, but like he's kind of like unplayable at this point. And it's just like, well, do we trade him? Do we wait? Because like, we're not saying we're in a championship window, but we're still like, now it's like gone from just straight development where we just lose all the time to now it's like we win and we develop. So
right.
We're in that same dilemma, and like, do we just wait? And with Ayton, he's younger too, so you guys kind of have time.
Yeah.
With Obi's 23, and like, if we wait, how long are we waiting? Are we waiting?
Yeah, really?
Are we waiting until he's like 25, 26? And then it's like, it's just like we have younger guys that have made bigger leaps already than him too. With RJ Barrett, he's our second leading scorer, our second best player at this point on a playoff.
I love RJ too, by the way. I know a lot of people were freaking
bro. People hate on RJ like, for no reason,
like
bro.
His rookie year, like people are like, a lot of people are like get on him, and I'll be like, bro, I see something in him. I like him. I like the way I like his mindset and everything.
Bro,
But people,
he has a no nonsense mindset. Like when he's on the court, it's just straight. I'm gonna kill you for this.
yeah,
Like,
he's trying to hoot, and Twitter get on like certain narratives and just run with it because it's all
bro,
jokes and
it's
it's so
all it
corny.
was. It was Zion and Cam hype. It was Zion
Yeah,
and Cam hype. They didn't like that RJ was taking touches from those dudes. That's
right.
what it was,
That's really what it was. It was so
and it
stupid
was
to me.
weird.
And it's crazy too because I love Cam Reddish too. That's like I like the way he defends and all that. Like I hope he ends up a little better too. But yeah, I never understood like why people hated on RJ that much.
Yeah, it was weird, and he wasn't even in the most ideal situation. He's still not in the most ideal situation.
Right.
But yeah, he's taking a big leap. He's only 20. We have Quickly that's coming on. He's 21.
Oh, he's so
Like
nice. He's
facts.
nice. He's a bucket. He is so nice.
We didn't honestly. I didn't even expect this from him. Like I watched him at Kentucky all the last 2 years that he was there.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
didn't.
see this
Yeah,
coming from him.
yeah, that's wild. It's crazy how Kentucky guards always end up nice like that.
It's like anybody from Kentucky except Kevin Knox is nice. Like,
Right? Like they guards just be coming out of nowhere and just he's getting busy when
but
they get to
yeah,
the
we
league.
have all these guys that have taken these leaps, and like even Frank, who's like come out and become like a defensive specialist and like sort of a 3-point shooter for us now. It's
hmm
like, what do we do with Obi now? Like Obi's older than all those guys I just named.
Yeah, he's in a weird spot now.
And like when we took him before the draft, I didn't want him. Honestly, I didn't.
Yeah,
I was so adamant about it. I think you saw me tweeting about it a
yeah,
couple
I
times.
seen
I
it.
did. I did not
I
want
didn't really
Obi.
want you guys to take him either, honestly.
I rather we take, even though I didn't like Halliburton that much. I rather we have taken him,
Yeah, I
or
wanted you
like
guys
we
to take a
taken
guard really
Vassell.
badly. Yeah, I wanted you guys to take a guard, honestly, like really badly. I wanted a guard for you guys to take because I
Yeah,
want the Knicks to be good. Because
we
that's
we
another
needed
team.
a guard so
Yeah,
bad.
that's another team I feel like just gets slandered because of their. I think we have like some of the similar like
We have similar situations because our
people
owners are are
yeah, the
are are,
owners,
are,
yeah,
are
and people,
a-holes,
yeah,
and no
so
one likes them. So like they
it
just hate
makes
the
it
team
take
because of
yeah.
it.
See, that's exactly what I'm about to say. Like people would just take it out on like the team and like the young players that are on it. I feel like people would take it out on Book, try to tell him to get up out of there. They
Yeah.
take it out on RJ, and I'm just like, bro,
And
it
now we
ain't their fault
both
they got
win
drafted
in
there.
this year, and they can't
Yeah,
say
that's what I'm
anything.
saying. There's nothing they can really say. Like I feel like both of the owners have gotten out the way
Yep.
and let people do what they do. Like
Yep.
Sarver's gotten out the way
There's a
and let
lot of
James Jones
parallels
do what he's
between our
doing.
teams.
And I just felt like I want them like to freaking be good.
Yeah, so
And I
that
know
we could
people say
stick
you
it in the
guys as
media's
fans are
faces and
crazy, but
stuff.
I'm like, bro, that's New York. Like New York fans are always going to be crazy, so it is what it is.
Facts.
They
We've
gonna
been
they gonna
poverty
have to
for
get
so
over that.
long.
Yeah, like they gonna have to get over that, bro. It is what it is.
But yeah, like it's like with Obi, it's like we're in a similar situation with like you have with Aiton, but like it's even worse because Obi's older. So like
Yeah, I forgot
I'm
how
just
old he
hoping
was.
that we just like either like move on from him or like he just shapes up because
hmm
like you obviously want your players on your team to do well, but like if they take it a while, you got to kind of like move on. And then we
Yeah,
have 2 picks in this year's first round. It's like more young players coming in that can end up being better than him.
it's tough. Like how has he done like off because I'm assuming he comes off the bench from Randall,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, he plays like about like 12 minutes a night, I'd
Some
say.
minutes. So yeah,
He
that's what I'm
and
saying. Like
sometimes they have to play him even less. They've
yeah,
been playing him even less now because he's been getting worse actually.
yeah, that's tough because I don't know, and I don't think he's a 5 either. So
He's not because he
it
can't
definitely can't play
defend.
him. Yeah, so you definitely can't play him next to Randall.
Well, we tried that. Randall usually plays the 5, so
hmm
because Randall's a better defender now, so we kind of
Yeah,
can
for
do
sure.
that. But
Yeah.
then we sacrifice points from the power forward spot with Obi.
hmm
He
Yeah,
looks
that's
scared
tough. We're gonna
sometimes out
see.
there, which is tough. Which I'm at
Yeah.
the point where I'm like, at the beginning of the season, I was like, give him time, but now I'm like, we got to bench him. Let's put Kevin Knox because Kevin Knox will at least give us some corner threes or something. Like,
Right, and he'll try.
yeah,
But
like
he's not
it's better at
afraid.
that.
He's just not he's just not that good yet. But he's gonna try. That's what Kevin Knox will get a shot. I don't that is tough. I feel like they gonna let him rock this year, obviously. But
Yeah,
I feel like if there's like some type of deal that they actually like in the offseason, then they'll just get rid of him because they already have Randall and they won't be
yeah,
tripping. And some team that'll take him, like they'll give up they'll give us something nice for him just because he's still young in
yeah.
their eyes. He's still like a younger player. The
That's what
guys that age
that's what I'm
usually
hoping
aren't
for.
afraid. Yeah, guys that age are usually like more like polished and like ready to actually contribute something right
Which is
away.
so frightening because it's like he's
Yeah,
already 23 and it's like
Yeah, like he
But
should be like, yeah, because that's like for us when we took, when we've been going the route of taking like older guys. Remember people were making all those jokes about us taking Cam Johnson,
yeah,
and then
but
people
he's
even made kind of
polished.
jokes about McHale, but McHale and him came in and automatically like they gave something.
Yeah,
They were already giving like 3 point shots. McHale came in, he was already giving you defense, and Cam Johnson he was giving you defense and three like immediately already, and now he's starting to like get better at driving and all that and getting to the cup. So guys that age usually should be like they should be giving you something already because they
yeah,
should be more polished than like an 18 or 19-year-old rookie. Like he's
yeah,
23, so it
and
is a little scary.
it is. It's very
For
scary, and
sure.
it's like, what do we do come playoff time? We're gonna have to shorten our rotations even more if that's what it
Hmm.
comes to. But I'm hoping for the best for him. Hoping for the best for both our teams because
For
we've been in
sure.
poverty both for so long.
For the
Finally,
longest.
get some winning seasons.
Yeah, it feels freaking good, man.
It does.
Especially
But
because even when we got Chris Paul, there was still a lot of skeptical people on the TL.
oh,
Saying
of
like, oh, they
course.
got an old watch Chris Paul. They're still gonna be just at the bottom fighting to get in. I'm like, for real, bro? Like all that Chris Paul's done, bro. And you're giving him
Facts.
Devin Booker, dude, and this is I'm like, okay, we'll see. It is what it
So
is.
you wouldn't be opposed to an Andre Drummond, right?
I wouldn't. For me, it depends on because his contract's kind of tough, ain't it? If
It
he gets
is, but
bought
like, what
out,
if you get him on a buyout?
yeah, if
Yeah,
he's buyout, oh, I'll take it immediately. I know people are gonna say, oh, he's gonna at the least, if Aiton's
he's a
out the
big body
game,
to throw out there.
he's a big body to throw at AD or somebody. He's gonna give
Yeah,
boards. Somebody Chris Paul and Book could throw lobs to. Like he's gonna give you around the same thing Aiton is gonna give us anyways. So I don't understand why people are so. I understand that he's known as like a guy that gets his numbers, but they're not impactful.
yeah, because his true
But
shooting is like, especially
yeah,
this year, horrible
yeah,
around the rim.
but for me, like bringing him here,
He
I'm
won't
not
have to do
asking. I ain't
much.
asking. Yeah, I'm not
So
asking him to do. I'm not asking him to freaking. We're not gonna be asking of Andre Drummond the same thing we're asking Aiton to be. Like, it's gonna be two different things we're asking him to do. Like, I just want him to be a big body. Just do what you do well already,
yeah,
because he can at least do more for us than Frank will be able to against those guys. Like you can even throw Dario next to him or something, off the bench, and we'll be fine. So I would not be opposed to it at all.
yeah. So what is your ideal um what is your ideal outcome for this season? Like, is it conference finals? Is it finals?
I think I think we're good enough to get to the conference finals if they get that body that I'm asking for.
All right.
I say if we don't, I'm not saying it ain't possible because Aiton could very well, just because he's had stretches where he looks possessed, and I'm like, okay, he's turned up. Like he's had those games against Giannis. He had them games. He had three of those games against Jokic, where I was like, okay. And Jokic even came out the game after that, like he's like was complimenting Aiden, said Aiden's like very good. He knows how to use his body, but Aiden just doesn't give it to us consistently enough.
Consistently, that
And we'll just be
consistency is
like,
his
bro, like
issue.
where are you? Yeah, and then some games he'll just look lost. And then some game he's just fumbling passes. He can't catch passes from Chris Paul or nobody. I'm like, bro, what's the deal from you? Like if he just come, I feel like we still need that big body because I don't think we can trust that he's gonna. We can't even get him to do it for 7 games in the regular season. Like it's gonna be hard for me to see him like being consistent in like a series.
Yeah, I feel you.
Unless those bright lights just bring something out of him and he's just locked in it because he knows he's on TV and he don't want to get embarrassed because all the freaking playoff games, those are national TV games.
Yep.
So the lights are bright, bro. So maybe but as of right now, like I've said the other day, I know for a fact I think we're gonna get out the first round. I think we'll be whoever we face in the first round. But whether we get out second round or not is to me is up to the big position.
All right. So let's move on to trade deadline and potential buyouts and trades that have happened recently. So recently we had, of course, PJ Tucker, former Sun, of
Mm-hmm.
course, got sent to
Legend.
Milwaukee
Mm-hmm.
for DJ Augustine, DJ Wilson, and I think it was like a pick swap or something like that.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about that deal when it went down?
I like it for PJ. I feel like the way they play like kind of fits how he's coming. So he's always he's gonna be a dog. He gonna be a dog just like Giannis. He gonna play hard just like Giannis. He gonna play defense like him. I feel like you could throw him next to him now. You could put PJ in the corners. It helps stretch the floor and throw
Yep.
Giannis at the 5. So I like
Yep.
that for them. And it's crazy.
Yep.
A lot of the Suns fans obviously wanted him back, but I was like, it's gonna be tough. But yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that was one of my main takeaways from it. Putting Giannis at the 5, it kind of forces Bud's hand because Bud is like very stubborn coach, doesn't like to
For
change, doesn't
sure.
like
He
to
don't like
really
changes, adjustments
adapt.
at all.
Exactly. I'm surprised he made an adjustment this year with their defense where they switched more because
Mm-hmm.
they usually just have like Brook Lopez in the drop and they just like let
Yep.
people fight
Funnel
over
it over there.
screens.
Yep.
But now they actually switch more. And then I've always wanted them to have Giannis at the 5 because I feel like he's been misutilized in that way. And
For
having
sure.
PJ
He should
Tucker
be
on the
around the
team will
rim a lot more.
force them. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then having PJ Tucker will force them to put him at the 5. So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that was a good trade for the Bucks. They're really trying to go all in, and it helps them defensively as well with guarding against like a team like Brooklyn, I think.
Yeah, for sure. That's another body they can throw out there because you're going to have a lot of bodies to try to mess with them.
Yep.
Like, you're going to have
That's
to.
for sure.
You got no choice. You're going to have multiple bodies to throw at people.
So other names at the trade deadline that I've seen thrown around, of course, Kyle Lowry of the Raptors. You had Andre Drummond, of course, who we spoke about. Harrison Barnes, Victor Oladipo, and Aaron Gordon, as well as like Evan Fournier, Terrence Ross.
Mm-hmm.
So like, first let's start with one name I want to talk about is Victor Oladipo because my Knicks have been linked to Victor Oladipo for a while now.
Definitely.
And my impression is if it's gonna cost us like a salary and like a second round pick, I'm all for it because if Victor Oladipo is like just throwing it in Houston and he wants to come here and turn up and help us with a playoff run, I'm
That would be
all
fire.
for that.
He would fit that culture too, like so well.
Yeah. So I'm all for that. But
Yeah.
because like the reason why I'm with it for that price is because he's been so inconsistent. He's been injury prone.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like just those two things alone. I mean, we already have
There's
Elfrid
some
Payton.
flags. Yeah, some red flags.
I don't need that.
Yeah, for sure.
So like,
yeah.
When I saw Golden State, when they asked Golden State for either James Wiseman or the Minnesota first, I was like, yeah, I'm out on it.
Yeah, that's there. Ooh, because they would probably ask you guys for Obi or something.
I mean, they could. I mean, I would give up Obi, but not for that.
Yeah, for the say.
I'll give up Obi, but not for that.
Yeah, I would.
I would give up Obi in like a Lonzo trade or something, but like for this, nah.
Yeah, because you don't know. Because it's hard to tell if he's actually declining because of the injuries or if he's just doesn't want to play.
Yeah,
it's hard to it's hard. You have to like kind of take a risk.
Yeah, and I would only do that for like
yeah.
I would only do that for like a salary and like some seconds.
I agree with that. Yeah, because that could back like you do that and then he ends up coming there and it's actually like true that he's just freaking like he's done, like his legs are done and he just can't do what he once did. And you give up a little too much and it's gonna look bad on you guys too.
Yeah,
so
exactly. That. Don't need that.
And you don't need no more freaking Knicks slander.
Yeah,
people will take advantage of that. Like, oh, they gave up this for.
Oh, yeah, people just waiting for us to mess up. We haven't messed up, but they're just waiting for us to mess up like that so they can make their jokes again.
That's exactly what it is. So I understand that. I agree with you there.
But yeah, Harrison Barnes is another name I've seen come up a lot, especially when it comes up to the Celtics.
Yeah. Ooh.
Because the Celtics season has been underwhelming. They are 20-21 as of right now. And they need help. I don't know if it's a big man or a wing. What do you think they need help with?
I think they need a consistent third guy too, honestly. I don't know what's up with Kemba, dude. I don't know.
He's cooked.
I think he might be cooked. And just the fact that he's so small. There's certain small guards that you can like. Chris Paul he's a different breed. Guys like that. Like he's not Chris Paul, so it's kind of like hard for like small guards, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, because you become a target.
Yeah, you're gonna get freaking. First of all, you're gonna get attacked, and then it's kind of easier to. You could trap guys like him, like he can't make passes over traps like a LeBron or Luca or like guys with size like that. That's why
Yeah.
it's so amazing to me that guys like Chris Paul could do that at his size, but because he's just so smart. But he's not that. So they need. I don't think they necessarily need a big man. A big man would help them. I think another wing player would help, like another. I think them losing Gordy actually does hurt more than they want to admit.
Yeah, because I mean, look how Gordon balling now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That hurt them more than they thought it was going to, because that's a lot of scoring ability they lost.
Yeah, you
Like,
see it. I mean, they
Tatum
didn't
and
even get to
Brown
put
to
up
do
100
everything.
points against the Kings yesterday.
Yeah, that's tough. Like they need. It's hard. Everybody else on that team are not like scorers like that. Those are the complimentary guys. They need like another guy.
Yep.
Because Marcus Smart, he's a complimentary guy as good as he is. And then Kemba, we don't know. They're dependent on Kemba. It's really dependent on Kemba. And if you're dependent on a small guard that's pretty much injury prone, you're in trouble.
Yep. You are
Like,
in trouble.
You're in a lot of trouble, dude. Like,
And
that's
right now
tough.
they're looking like they're gonna fight for like a playing spot right now at the very least.
And then the things Marcus Smart has been saying is giving me those vibes of when Kyrie was there, talking about they're not having fun.
Ooh,
and it's funny that they were giving Kyrie all the blame, and then now we're back a couple years later. It's like same type of things coming out. So obviously, bro, I don't know.
That's the one thing you don't want to hear from your team. They not having fun.
They're not having fun, and they're freaking. He was saying they're like
going through the
outside
motions.
of basketball too are like affecting them. Like that's a lot. It sounds like a lot's going on over there. Marcus Smart always gonna let us know.
Yeah, he keeps it real.
Yeah, he always goes like if they ask him, bro, he's gonna answer and he gonna give you the truth. And I see a lot of Celtics fans trying to fire them, Brad Stevens.
They can't stand Brad Stevens at any age this year.
Deal. And it's crazy because he was like looked at as like one of the top coaches, like young coaches coming up, and now they want him gone.
I think it has more to do with his lineups and what he does and doesn't do. And I think they've been frustrated with the Daniel Tice and Tristan Thompson starting lineup for so long.
Like crazy, yeah. That is wild because a lot of people don't like running two bigs really like that, especially if they're both
that's
really,
outdated
great
now.
shooters. Yeah, like one of them got to be like amazing shooter or something, at least close to it. And neither one of them are that. They both like are inside type guys.
Yeah,
it just clutters everything. And it's already hard for them to score, and you're just making it a little harder for them to score for freaking Jalen and Tatum.
And one thing you don't want to do is waste young players their time or their prime or anything like that.
Yeah, because they got two stars over there. They got two really good players over there.
Yeah,
I feel like I understand their Stevens thing. I feel like Ainge is more of the problem.
Yeah, because he doesn't like to. He doesn't construct the roster to like. Their biggest strength.
Yeah, and I feel like he doesn't want to pay nobody, or he don't want to take enough risk to get the pieces he needs. He always almost traded for somebody or almost signed somebody. Like, bro, you have to take risks, dude. Even us, like sending freaking Rubio and Oubre, our chemistry and all that was already good anyways last season. You could see it. And then you take a risk, trading for a guard Chris Paul's age, he's that small, he's making that much money. But you got to do stuff like that if you want to actually win.
Yep.
You have to take a little risk like that.
So do you think a Harrison Barnes trade would be good for them?
I do. I think it would actually help them. I know a lot of people don't think Harrison Barnes is good, but I think he's a good player.
He's having a career year this year, which surprised me when I looked it up.
I think that finals thing made people like get off of him.
Yeah.
Just because I'm like, bro, a lot of people, it's the finals, bro. Not everybody's going to hoop in the finals. And you could have a bad series without you being an awful player, dude. Like, yeah, he's a good player, dude.
He's having a career year. He's playing pretty well. So, I mean, I think he could help them on both ends.
Yeah, and I don't know what the package would look like, but I think they should do something now. It's the second half of the season. It's time to do something. Because at this rate, who are they going to beat? There's like 4 teams in the East that'll probably beat them, I feel like, already.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if they would be able to beat freaking... They're definitely not beating Brooklyn.
No.
They're not beating the Bucks, I don't think, how they are right now. They'll lock them up. They usually do good against Philly. I don't even think they'll beat Philly at this point. And it's crazy because I always said I would pick the Celtics to beat them, but I don't trust
Philly's
them
on another level this year.
Yeah, and the way they defend... like Tatum and Westcott are gonna have to do too much.
Yep.
It's nah. They got to do something. If they actually want to do something this year, actually make some noise. They should make a trade.
All right, so let's move on to Aaron Gordon's an interesting one. And just
Very.
let's talk about the whole Magic in general,
I don't know
because
what's their problem.
Orlando is a team that's frustrated me the last couple of years because they never want to sell. Like,
Yeah, what is their problem? They just stockpile like young assets and just keep them there and hostage.
yeah, like you can't be having these
Yo,
players
and then
like
don't play some of them.
Vucevic,
Yeah,
Ross, Fournier, Gordon, and like you're a perennial 8th seed. Like
it doesn't make any sense. And
like
then they
you
got all those young dudes over there.
yeah, you got to prioritize like, those young players.
Man, Fultz, freaking who Cole's there, Bamba was such a likable dude. He's still likable. He's like a lot of people liked him in his draft, and he's just been there and like he's
nothing.
vanished. Yeah, just vanished, and they're just Jonathan Isaac's still there. I know he's hurt, but bro, they got pieces over there.
Yeah, and
they can. A lot of people
what better
give up
draft?
For, right.
And what better draft to like just sell off all your best players, get assets in return, and just tank it for the rest of the way, and hope you get luck into like a Cade, Evan Mobley,
dude. And you'll
Jalen Green.
You have so much young players there too that you'll still have a nice young core in the East.
Yup.
Nice young core. Oh my god.
And that's been my issue with Orlando all these years. They never want to sell. They just want content with being an 8 seed. And it's like, I hope they realize this year.
Goals? If your goal just to like be there, we're there. We're not terrible.
Like, just be mediocre forever.
Yeah, well, we'll be all right. Like, nah, bro. That ain't it.
Yeah, like just sell Vucevic. He's over there just putting up historic numbers just to lose.
Man, just sitting there. Get him out of there immediately. Even if you want to, keep him in the East. Do something, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, they were like, before they beat Brooklyn the other day, they were on like a 9-game losing streak.
Right.
I hope this wakes them up to finally be like, you know what? Terrence Ross, it was nice having you here, but I think you'll help a playoff contender. Evan Fournier, we'll see you. You're expiring anyways. Aaron Gordon, we haven't best served you.
I feel like they've been shopping him for a minute, and he's still
Aaron
there.
Gordon every year is in trade rumors, but never gets dealt, and they don't even utilize him properly, I think.
Bro, and he's been freaking linked to us for the last 2 years.
That would be big for y'all if y'all could get him.
I would like. He's been linked to us a lot. I remember they did the whole thing. I think it was Mark Stein last year around the trade deadline was saying we was talking to the Magic, about Oubre. And people were like, oh, it's probably Oubre for Gordon. And I remember back then, I was like, hell no, don't do that. Obviously, that's good we didn't do that because we needed Oubre to get Chris Paul.
Facts.
So I'm glad that it happened because I don't think without Oubre, we were able to – because he as good as he played with us, he became like a valuable like asset for us to even get Chris Paul.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we did it. But I would take – I'm just glad we went out and got a body. So we went out and got Torrey Craig, that's cool. I like that.
That's another good wing defender to just throw at somebody in the playoffs.
Yeah, I actually like that a lot. But yeah, the
Magic
Magic
didn't cost you guys anything.
Yeah, literally nothing. We gave them. I think they said we gave them like 100,000 or something like that. Like whatever. But yeah, the Magic they need to give. He's the first one that should go. Him and Vucevic, I think, are the first two that should go because I think they have the most value.
Yeah, definitely. You would get a haul for them.
Those two should be the first. Yeah, you can get something for them. Like I know we'll give up something for them if we really wanted them.
I want my Knicks to go after Fournier or Ross because we definitely need another like movement shooter out there with our team because we don't have any of those. But I would love one of them too.
That would make sense too. A lot of sense.
But Orlando just keeps holding on to these dudes.
They're like no. Yeah, our fan base is obsessed with trying to get Terrence Ross too. That's the funny thing. He could help somebody too. That's why.
Bro, those people would help a playoff team OD.
They just over there just sitting. And then they're just taking minutes away from dudes that should be over there playing and developing.
Yeah.
Like, get those guys out of there and just get a keys to try to tank, get you another young guard, and get the keys to Fultz, Cole, throw Bamba in there, get Vucevic out of there, bro. When Jonathan Isaac come back, just play all them. They'll be so fun to watch.
Yeah,
they get
exactly.
Another young dude. Bro, they don't understand. They'll sell more tickets too. They'll make more money. They play that young core because the people actually have some excitement because they know now with those guys that are there, they're not
They know
going
what the
nowhere.
ceiling is.
Yeah, they don't know the ceiling. You get imagine they do get a Cade or something. And you throw a Cade out there. You already got Fultz. You got Cole.
Them
You got
3-guard lineups would be
Bamba.
crazy.
Yeah, that would be fire. Then you got somebody like Isaac still coming back. I love him. Oh my, I've wanted him on the Suns for a minute too. He's nice. I like him. They still got a guy like him out there.
Yep.
I don't know what they're doing. It's so obvious what they should do.
It's been obvious for so many years, but they just keep ignoring it.
Yeah.
But let's move on to Kyle Lowry and another Raptor, Norman Powell. Those two have been in trade rumors all year. I think both are expiring deals as well too. So I think both of them could really help a playoff team. Kyle Lowry is a little bit harder to move because of his salary.
Yeah,
it's like $30 million.
Yeah,
but Norman Powell is someone that a lot of playoff teams or French playoff teams should look into as like someone who can help them score.
Yeah, he been getting buckets lately too. He's looking possessed.
Yeah, he had like 43, I think, the other night. They were missing like Pascal. No, actually Pascal and all of them came back that game. And he still put up 43.
He was hooping. Yeah, he was going crazy. That's crazy because he's always been one of those guys that can get hot.
Yeah, and the problem with the Raptors fan base, they always didn't like it because he wasn't consistent with it. But like this year, he's had no choice but to be consistent somewhat.
Right, and it's kind of hard to be consistent when you don't always get those minutes.
Yeah,
he doesn't always get those minutes. Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, I've heard him linked to I haven't really heard him linked to any teams, which is weird because I feel like he would help a lot of teams in the playoffs, but I'm not sure what his salary is. I think it might be close to like 17 million. So like, it might be harder to move him.
Yeah, I feel like the Raptors are in a weird spot too with what they have over there.
Yeah, because they have young pieces that are good enough to compete still.
Yeah, but obviously they won like a championship with that group. They just need
but they're also underperforming too.
Right. It's crazy.
And it's like due to COVID protocols, but also they've also had a slow start to the season when they had everybody too. So it's like
the only reason I had cut them some slack in the beginning is because they're like the only team that's actually not at home.
Yeah.
So I gave them some slack. I'm like, bro, they're literally the only. Aren't they playing like Tampa Bay?
Yeah, they are playing in Tampa.
So they're technically away from their like family and stuff, like how they were like in a bubble. So I gave them some time before that, and they kind of but they do need like another guy. They need like a guy, like Kawhi was their guy.
Yeah, and I think they're betting on either Pascal or OG to develop into that, or Fred to develop into that guy. But right now, this year is not the year.
Yeah, I think all of those guys are like secondary guys.
And this year is just not the year either, especially with with the way their situation is. And then guys like Norman Powell is going to be expiring, and then Kyle Lowry, you could get some real assets for those and just go full tank and get like Cade or one of those guys in there.
Yeah, I feel like they look like one of those teams that are like, nah, we're never gonna like tank like San Antonio be doing.
Yeah,
when they honestly should do what's best for their freaking organization. If you don't think any of those, unless they still have belief that one of those guys are going to end up a number one guy, which I do not think they are. I think OG is going to be like, because they always do the Mikal and OG comparison. He's going to be like that. Like we're not saying
I see those
like
comparisons all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Like Mikal is here not asked to be like a main guy, so I don't think they should try to ask OG to be that, or even Pascal. I think Pascal. Look how good he looked as like a number two guy. I think that's what he is.
But like, where do you think a Kyle Lowry and a Norman Powell, where would they best fit?
Kyle Lowry, I liked when I had seen that they said he would be good on the Sixers.
Yeah.
That would be fire. And people have been saying the Clippers too, to reunite him with Kawhi. I don't see how they do that. I don't know who they would be able to trade or whatever to make that happen.
It would have to be like a 3-team deal.
Yeah, something. I would do that if I was a Clipper. I don't know if they've been reaching out. That's the main dude. They should. That would make them like scary because that's what they need.
What I've heard about the Clippers with reaching out about point guards is about George Hill, I think.
Yeah, I've seen that too, and I seen one the other day about Lonzo. I would like that too. I seen George Hill and Lonzo's one.
Yeah, I don't see any assets that the Clippers have that they
Yeah,
can
for the
give up for
Pels.
Alonzo.
Yeah, that's the main part. That's like tell like who are they gonna give up that the Pels are actually gonna want.
Yeah, they have nobody. So it's like if I'm the Clippers, I'll wait for George Hill to get a buyout and then just do that.
Oh yeah, I would do that too.
Because like you get him on a minimum and then you have him be your point guard.
Mm-hmm. He plays defense too,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
you could
And that's what
freaking
they need is someone that's
you
gonna
need
set up
him.
their guys, play defense,
Mm-hmm.
shoot threes, all that stuff.
Especially because you don't want to have to always have Lou Will out there because you know he's gonna get picked on.
Oh boy.
And then it seems almost impossible for Pat Bev to stay healthy so far.
Yeah, he's been injury prone
Yeah, it's
ever since
crazy.
Kawhi and PG got there.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, it's feel like he's barely played with them, and they've been there for a minute.
Yeah, so
And
that's
it's
an
crazy because
issue.
he's actually crazy valuable for them. Like they're way better when Patrick Beverly plays.
Yep. So how do you feel about where Norman Powell would fit? Because it's a dynamic score off the bench for a playoff team.
Yeah, he would. I feel like he can go he can go almost anywhere because everybody can take a freaking a guy that can score, off the bench. Shoot, we could still take one. Honestly, you guys
Facts.
could take one.
Facts.
He would probably eat with you guys. As long as
That's
he
a
get
fact.
as long as he would get over there and just because Thibs, you're gonna have to play defense. So
Oh, of
just as long as you
course.
defend over there with Thibodeau, you're not gonna play if you don't play defense for him. So if he go out there to defend, he'll be nice there. Stay out east. He should look into something like that, honestly.
Yeah, I do want the Knicks to get someone that can help us, but I just don't want us to give up something for. I don't want to give up so much for someone who's only gonna do that.
Yeah, it was just something like all we need you to do is score.
Yeah, I feel like we could get like someone like maybe like a Fournier or a Ross for like something like that.
Yeah,
That would be cheaper.
I wonder if Powell's gonna get like, is he gonna get bought out or is he gonna be like a trade guy that gets traded?
Powell probably get traded.
Probably get traded, because
So
they do
speaking
want
of buyout guys,
Mm-hmm.
some guys I do want to talk about are LaMarcus Aldridge.
Mm-hmm.
You got JJ Redick. You got George Hill.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like those are the main buyout guys I've seen. Possibly also Andre Drummond, but we kind of already spoke about him. He's been
Yeah.
rumored to either be linked to like the Lakers or the Nets, of course.
Yeah, of course. That's all. They always gonna link it to the contenders,
Yep.
no matter what.
But LaMarcus Aldridge is an interesting one because I could somewhat see how he fits with certain teams, but I also could see how he doesn't fit with certain teams because he's not that good of a defender. So where do you
Yeah,
best
he's
fit?
gonna have to go somewhere specific. Like, ooh, that's tough.
I've seen his name linked to Miami, which is
Yeah, I was gonna say
interesting.
Miami because he could actually maybe throw him next to Bam or something to hide him on defense.
Yeah.
That would make sense. I seen that. I seen him in Miami. I think I seen. Of course, they always throw LA in there. I seen them throw us in there. I was watching that the other day on the jump when they were saying teams and on ESPN and all that, and they threw us in there because because he was actually gonna come here. Like it came down to us and the Spurs. Remember when he was a free agent?
Yep.
And they came down to us, the Spurs. Remember we put a billboard up downtown Phoenix and everything for that, man.
I remember that.
Do you guys remember that? Oh, that's how down bad we were. we were just and thank God we didn't do that. But I remember them saying he wanted to come here because how close he was to Tyson Chandler, and he wanted to play
I
next
do
to a
remember
defensive
that.
center.
Yep.
Yeah, he wanted to play next to like a defensive center, so he has to go somewhere where they can. It has to be a place where he could play next to like a center, which I understand why they would throw him next to us, but I don't think he don't actually fit what we do, anyways, in my opinion. So I was like, nah, I'm cool on that. I think Miami will be able to hide him a little better because Bam is a lot farther along than Aiden is.
Yeah.
So he would make sense in Miami.
And then they've also hid Bam. They've also hid like Kelly Olynyk and Myers Leonard, guys like that next to Bam.
Like they could do that.
So he's like in that same type of realm as like a player.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's in he's in that part of his career. And I feel like he has to, make sure his ego's checked. Make sure he knows what type of player he is now.
Yeah. I've also seen his
Like,
name linked to Boston too.
Oh yeah.
But I don't really see how he helps Boston. Boston needs
I don't see how that. Yeah, I don't know how.
And Boston fans are not don't want him either. So like,
yeah, I was gonna say they think they need somebody. I know, understand he could score, but then they're just gonna be frustrated with his defense too. And then
yeah,
imagine if Steven's gonna play him next to Tyson them too. That would be disgusting.
another
Imagine him
double
playing him
big
next to
lineup.
him. Yeah, like yeah, I don't know about that one. He has to play somewhere like a Miami. Or I would say us too a little bit if I wasn't scared of Ayton getting in foul trouble. Because
And then
then we can't have both of them both out there getting cooked.
facts. And then JJ Redick.
Ooh, JJ. I feel like he should have stayed with the Sixers anyways.
Yeah.
They always could use some dang shooting. JJ could go. He could go to the LA teams. He could go to he could help Boston. He could go a lot of
I've heard
places.
him rumored to my Knicks because he has a house in Williamsburg here in Brooklyn, New York. So
Ooh.
he would be close to home.
Mm-hmm. That would be
So
fire.
I've heard his name rumored to us and Brooklyn, but Brooklyn, they
And
don't
you
have
guys
any
could always
space and they don't even need him
use some more
anyways.
shooting. Right. And you guys always could take some more shooting.
Yeah, Knicks
That's
always need some more
another thing
shooting.
you guys need is some because you guys got a lot of guys that you guys have a lot of guys that can get to the paint. But there's not a lot of shooting over there.
Nope.
So that would actually be perfect for him. It's space the floor.
Yeah, if I could get JJ Redick for no assets given up at all, and then we could release someone like Elfrid Payton.
Yeah, because
like
I see you guys all the time. You guys are sick of him.
Bro, I cannot stand.
You guys
I can't stand Elfrid Payton.
And it's funny because he tricked us when he was here for that little bit of time. Remember, he was on the Suns, and I remember he had like the little stretch. He was getting triple doubles and stuff. I was like, oh, he's nice. And I fell off so freaking fast.
Bro, he is so bad. Like
I don't understand what's the deal with him. Like he tricked us for a cool minute.
He regressed so bad, and it's just like if you can't shoot jumpers as like a point guard, like what is your purpose?
Yeah, if you're not gonna be able to shoot, like you at least have to be good on defense and playmaking. Like you have to get both of those if you're not good at shooting.
He's not good at them. Like he fooled Tom Thibodeau. I really hope we get rid of him this week. Like, I just can't.
Because I already know how he plays. That's why it's so funny because he wasn't here for long, but he was here, and I know exactly how he plays. Like that's why he's gonna get those fake triple doubles and make you think he's nice, but he's actually not doing much out there for you.
Yep. And he fooled them. He fooled the coaches.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, because he's gonna put them numbers up. They're gonna go back and look like, oh,
he be putting up 20 on 19 shots, and everybody and some of the boomers on Knicks Twitter, they be like, "See, look what he did. He produced tonight." And it's like, come on,
no, he's not. He's hurting us.
Like, I've seen our offensive rating when he's not here, and when like we start like Derrick Rose or Quickly. Yeah, our offensive rating skyrockets when it's not him, bro.
It's like he like assist hunts or something. I don't know what his problem is.
He drains possessions out by just like dribbling and standing there.
Yeah, that's what he used to do that here. Like that's how he got those triple doubles. You gonna get him if you're dribbling the air out the ball until you can get an assist.
Yeah,
because that's what he does. He assist hunts, and assist hunting is bad, dude. That kills offenses.
Exactly, and some people just can't see it. I'm hoping that we can be able to move off him this trade deadline. That's one person I hope that we can get like a second round pick for or something. But
somebody will take them. Somebody will take those fake triple doubles.
And before we close out this episode, what have been some surprising teams for you this year, minus our own teams?
I think I'm gonna go. I want to say the Hawks.
They've been really good recently.
Yeah, they've been good because they started off a little. People thought they were gonna be a little better, and then it didn't start out that way. But they've been hooping lately. I thought that when the season started, I thought they were still gonna be awful, like awful. Like I thought they would still be like the worst team in the league because I didn't really believe. I feel like they're still like not enough for me over there. I feel like Trey still has to do a little too much. But yeah, I would say they're surprising. Obviously Utah. I feel like Utah though, they were freaking shooting the hell out of the ball. And
they're starting to regress a little bit.
Yeah, and I always felt like it wasn't gonna be sustainable. That's why I always felt like we would catch them because I felt like what we were doing was like more sustainable. Like we we're gonna defend and then we're gonna like beat you like with our half court offense because that's what like Chris Paul and Devin Booker are obviously like two of the best like half court offensive players.
Yep.
Like they're gonna get a good shot. So I feel like what they were doing was a little like not sustainable. Like those guys were not gonna shoot the ball. Like they all were shooting the ball amazing at the same time.
Yeah. So yeah, the Hawks, to your point, I mean, they have been on an 8-game winning streak since they fired Lloyd Pierce and hired Nate McMillan as the interim. And they've been pretty good. I mean, they've also played a lot of bad teams, so that kind of helps when you're trying to reestablish yourself as a team.
Yeah.
They played today the Lakers without Anthony Davis and LeBron, so that was another win for them.
Yeah, they got
So like, I mean, everybody's saying, "Yo, watch out for the Hawks," but I'm like, do I really have to?
Because I mean, not scaring nobody.
Yeah, they're not scaring anybody. They haven't really beat anybody that's like legit. Like,
yeah, they're not. They still don't like strike fear nobody because, like I said, if you're the small guard thing, I always go back to it. It's tough if you have to do so much. If it's tough for Dame, and he's like a smaller guard, it's gonna be tough for guys that are not as good as him.
Yeah, and I mean, shout out to the Hawks. They like they're like the 5th seed now, I think, in the East or something like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so luckily, because the East is obviously not as good as the West, but it's getting better than it was. Thank God, because it used to be worse to me.
Yeah,
but I think it's actually getting better now. But I don't think they're scared. Like anybody's not scared to play them like in the first round. I don't think, or if
of
they
course
even
not.
make it.
I would welcome that so bad.
Because all they're gonna do is trap Trae Young, and then who's gonna beat you?
My Knicks be spanking the Hawks
Yeah,
every time.
They're too predictable, dude. It's too much on Trae Young.
I ain't scared of them at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't be.
And then Utah, of course, like you said, they came out on fire this year. Yeah, after they lost to my Knicks, they went on like a crazy win streak.
Mm-hmm.
Then they lost again, and they went on like another win streak. But now they've kind of come back to earth a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the 3-point shooting, and they don't handle switches well.
Yeah, definitely not. I don't think they have guys that can. I don't think Bogdanovich and Ingles are like terrible defenders, obviously, but they don't have the foot speed to guard a lot of guys.
Yeah.
And then my main problem with them is, like I said, they're not gonna shoot like that.
Come playoff time? Oh no.
Yeah, they're not shooting like that. So when they're not shooting like that, what they're gonna do again is lean heavy on Donovan Mitchell to make everything happen.
And I feel like that's too much pressure on him.
And it's not gonna. And then that's why he's so inefficient now as he is. Not that he's terribly but a lot of his points, he's scoring 35 on 30 shots.
Yeah,
like that happens a lot because he has to. Like he's somewhat of a choker because he has to. When those dudes aren't making threes, who's gonna go get you a bucket besides him? And maybe Jordan Clarkson, who's one of the most streaky players ever.
Yep.
So
that's why I was like, when they go on their win streaks, I'm not one of those people that's like particularly high on them. I'm like,
yeah, because what's changed besides fluky shooting?
Exactly. Like every year they go on a win streak, and it's like,
and they go on those win streaks because they're so like they have a system and like a culture.
Yep.
And it's like set. They got continuity. They have the same guys back every year.
Yep.
So it's easier to everybody's comfortable. They know what they're doing. They have their roles. Everybody plays their roles. But when you get to the thing, it's not about that. It's about star power in the playoffs, dude.
Yep.
It's that simple. Everybody knows it's about. Then you're gonna get tight. Those role players, when those role players are hitting, because it's gonna happen. Role players have to make timely shots, but they're not. It's not gonna be the same. Like how they're not gonna shoot the same as that. So when it comes down to that, it's gonna come down to like who has those guys.
Like,
and if your only guy is Donovan Mitchell, how am I supposed to take you serious as a actual contender? Because that's your only guy.
Yep.
Teams are gonna live with him chucking.
Like people telling me about Mike Conley, like Mike Conley's mad old. Like I'm not relying on him to be my second option in the playoffs to get to the Western Conference Finals. Like,
yeah, this is dude. Like he's nah. That's why I've been saying I'm not scared of nobody, but I'm not scared of nobody in the West, really. But I ain't saying we can't. Like, we could very well go to the first round and end up. What if we end up having to play Denver or something? I would say they could scare me. But I'm not like super terrified of nobody but the dang. Well, cause I feel like we have the stars to where like the game slows down, that they're gonna get their buckets. Like we're gonna get stops. We defend. That's the only reason I don't think those teams are better than us. Because I feel like we defend better than most of the teams in the West, in the league. First of all,
Yeah.
So like I'm not really, I ain't worried about. That's why I said I ain't worried about getting out the first round, because whoever we end up playing is going to be a worse defensive team than us, most likely.
Yeah, I think most people are confident in the Suns at least getting to the conference finals, or at least to the second round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot. Like, it's crazy that there's a lot of people like picking us to go to the West Conference Finals.
I mean, that's what I mean. Chris
like,
Paul
feels weird,
and then
man. Yeah.
a restructured roster does too.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I'm just glad a lot more people now are trying to give Book his flowers, because he deserves it.
He definitely deserves it. I've been one of those people that's been a fan of his game since he came in the league. I'm always a fan of Kentucky guards. Like, they're the one college team I watch every year. So
for sure, they're guards. And it's crazy because it was like 2015. I still have this dang picture. I think I tweeted a while back. It was a tweet of me in 2015 saying, "Suns, please draft Devin Booker."
Oh, wow.
Like, I will keep that screenshot. I'm gonna tweet it later today. I will always have that screenshot because I didn't think he was gonna be this good as he is. But like I said, I watched a lot of college basketball, and I was watching Kentucky because I think everybody was watching that Kentucky team that season with Book and Karl Anthony Towns and the Harrison twins and all that. Yep. Everybody was watching that team because obviously they almost went undefeated. But I remember just watching. I like how he approaches the game. I like his game. He just ended up being way better than I thought he was going to be. But I'm so happy he's on our team, dude. He's different. He's a different dude, bro.
So as we head out of here, let the people know where they can find you.
Yes, sir. My Twitter is SwaveyQuis, SwaveyQuis. My Instagram's the same, but there's an extra S at the end. I'm on there tweeting all the time about basketball, man. That's all I do is watch basketball.
And also make sure you tune into his Twitch as well.
Yes,
where can they find you on Twitch?
Yes, sir. Twitch.com/SwaveyQuis, spelled the same way. We'll be up there talking a lot of basketball too, but we'll be up there playing some Warzone, playing some 2K soon. But this was fun, man.
All right, no doubt. Thank you for coming on, and we'll make sure we got to do this again come playoff time as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure, because, I'm going to be either happy or hot, and I'll be ready to talk.
Facts.
Especially because both of our teams haven't touched the playoffs yet.
Oh,
and I'm
100%
sure. expecting both of our teams to be there, and we haven't got a taste of that. You had to taste. What was the last time you guys were there?
2013.
2013. So that's still been a while.
Yep.
We ain't touched it since 2010, so I'm even more thirsty. So, I'm just happy. I'm at least happy knowing I'm gonna get to watch my team, and I'm gonna get to go to a playoff game.
For sure.
That's what really made. I'm gonna actually get to and we're gonna have fans. We already have fans in our arena.
Facts.
So yeah, we could definitely just get a playoff time for sure.
All right.